A revolutionary. Say whoa. Trap revolutionary. Got the wave it too scary. Doing this thing like Malcolm ain't by any means necessary. We ain't got it by no one seen hand. We got the master plan. Get the movement going on. Right here where we stand, man. We bucking and stumping, fist pumping. Even though they tried to set us up for failure and kill us, we keep on coming. That's why somebody gotta step up and say something about the bullshit. Because if not, the blind gon' keep leaving.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all want to do a video, talk about the situation with Diddy. And I know it's a lot of talk around, everything surrounding him and, back and forth, things that was said that he did, things that, he was involved in, with other people. Cassie being mainly one of them. Just basically from Cassie to Big. I'll just put it like that. And so Dave made Diddy the Boogeyman. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Basically what happened. Diddy's the big boogeyman now, you know what I'm saying? So and I heard somebody, name Dash to actually be to name, the specific name. He said that, he like, man, regardless of all that, whatever he did, he said, I'm not gonna tear another black man down. Yeah, he said a number of things, but that was the main thing that I heard him say, And so in saying that, I'm thinking about how Diddy, and if a person is wrong for doing something, if he committed a crime or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you should face punishment. But I'm thinking in terms of what he did is nothing compared to what has occurred with us as a whole, what we've been through, the atrocities that we've experienced. They say he trafficked people, you know what I'm saying? But what about the traffic, human trafficking we suffered, you know what I'm saying, as a people, you know what I'm saying, through slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, getting dropped off, the boat dropped off in so many different places, you know what I'm saying? It's why you have people, you got South America, in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, here in North America, you got even people, our people over in London, you know what I'm saying, in England, so, the slave boat pretty much, even though, we were other places, we've always been in other places, and we were actually native to this land, but our people were stolen from the mother country, from Africa, and shipped to so many other places. So we worried about one dude, a black man, you know what I'm saying? And everybody has labeled him the boogeyman, but it's crazy. What happens is that the attention is always focused on one person or one little incident, and gets the real attention off of the real problem at hand and the behavior, that's been, begotten from another, larger problem in hand, or larger issue, or larger behavior, or another, negative behavior, at hand, you know what I'm saying, that he has end up getting from others, you know what I'm saying, or seeing that, he end up being like that, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm and I agree with Damon Dash, like I'm not gonna knock a black man down, you know what I'm saying, regardless, no matter, I might disagree or whatever, especially publicly, like, bro, we need to do this behind closed doors. Got our beef, our issues, you know what I'm saying? Because this is one thing that, and this I learned. What Malcolm said, like, man, I'm not going to tear down another leader or another black man, another black leader in public. We can go we can scream and fuss and fight behind closed doors, but when we come out in public, we're a unified front. You know what I'm saying? That I say that should happen as a family unit. You know, us even brothers, you know what I'm saying? It's friends, you know what I'm saying? Homeboys, you know what I'm saying? But especially like black leaders, you know what I'm saying? Entertainment, whatever you may, you know, industry you may be in. But to tear another black man down, that's not, you know, that's not at all you know, cool, not at all, you know, what should be done. And we have to understand, like, yeah, you know, it's people that deserve punishment. They deserve whatever they're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? But to tear them down when it's been atrocities, like, you know what I'm saying, like I said, like crimes against humanity that have been committed, the real attention has been focused on he did it. We need to be real. In the real world, in the sense of thing, in the power, in the halls of power, and you know, influence, and you know, resources and money, Diddy's a peon. He really ain't even a peon. He ain't reached. He's not even the level of a peon. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be real about it. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have power to move anything. If he had power to move something, he wouldn't be in jail in the first place. You know what I'm saying? He had that type of power. So that's what needs to be understood in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know, they made him the boogeyman when the fact that there has been crimes against humanity in our grandmothers, you know what I'm saying, grandfathers, you know, been raped and pillaged, you know what I'm saying, murdered, castrated, you know what I'm saying, lynched. Like, come on, man. Like, nah, we turn attention, like I said, away from the real problem because it still exists. I'm looking at videos today, people being racist. You know what I'm saying? Man, and you know, cyclists done ran up on a brother trying to deliver packages. You know, your brother had to put hands on him. You know, seen the other day, same thing. Another man, this man, he just walking in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Or he done came, another man just like trying to chase him out the neighborhood, like running up on him. He like, hey man, get back. Like, what are you doing? And the man kept what he said. He kept telling him, like, man, get back. He had to put hands on him. Then another man, he owned a yacht. Well, a small boat, may not be a yacht. And some guy, black guy, he owned a boat. And the guy told him, like, what are you doing here? He like, man, I own this boat. Like, what are you talking about? So the problem still persists, and we haven't gotten anywhere, you know what I'm saying, because of this problem. You know, here in America, racism still exists because you have the mainstream population of white Americans feeling like either we owe them some or we are beneath them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and the crimes that were committed are overlooked. Or, oh, I didn't have nothing to do with that. That was the people that came before me. No, we still have to hold people accountable. You know what I'm saying? People still have to be held accountable, and the behaviors still exist. So no, you cannot be absolved from that. You know, especially if the behaviors are still prevalent. You know what I'm saying? The things that have been done, like I said, the crimes that have been committed, the attitudes, the behaviors still persist because that hasn't been actually corrected. You know what I'm saying? Nothing has been done to correct that behavior, and in a sense, we have never been given anything for those atrocities. Everybody else have been given some form, you know, Jewish people, Asian people, you know, for being put in concentration camps. And then you have the LGBT community have gotten bills passed, you know what I'm saying? Some anti gay or anti you know, bills have been passed, you know, to protect you know, the LGBT community. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to understand, man. It's like, yo, we can't make somebody the boogeyman when it's certain other things that have occurred here, you know, and we have not corrected those things. You know what I'm saying? Boogie, like I said, Diddy just a peon. You know what I'm saying? He's done nothing compared to the like I said, the crimes against humanity that can be committed. He's done nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's done nothing compared to that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you want to blame him, like I said in the prior video about, you know, Big's death, you know, or him not allowing Big, because Big wanted to leave. Actually, from what I understand, Big wanted to leave and go to, because they was trying to promote him in London, I believe, something like that, somewhere overseas. I believe it was London, and he was supposed to go, but Puff told him to stay here, and that ended up leading to his death. You know what I'm saying? His demise. Somebody, like I said, rolled up on them. They was going entourage and them going somewhere, and somebody rolled up on them and straight up, murdered him. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, even if you want to say he had something to do with that, still though, you know what I'm saying? The things that have happened, the millions of African people that have been killed and slaughtered, our people over here that have been killed and slaughtered, our native ancestors that have been killed and slaughtered over here, is nothing compared to him or anything he's done. Can't even compare. No, ain't nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the attention always goes to something less important, or to make it seem like something that he's done is so unbearable or so atrocious. You know what I'm saying? When it's nothing compared to what has been done to us over here as a people. You know what I'm saying? And nothing has been corrected at all. It's still nothing has been corrected. Nothing has been done. And then the way our people feel, we do. And even in me too, I feel like sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And then with Trump and his cronies in office, you just feel like, man, it's nothing to ever be done. It's like nothing we can do about it, and nothing to ever be done. We're not going to get reparations. That's just the way it is. Police brutality, that's just the way it is. It's going to continue. That's just the way it is. Instead of being able to rise up and then breaking that, you know what I'm saying? Breaking that cycle, breaking those chains, even the mental chains, you know what I'm saying? That the shackles on our minds that stymie us or hinder us from even rising up and breaking that chain of mental thoughts and behaviors, and challenging the system and saying this cannot continue. You know what I'm saying? So even in that sense, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's the way a lot of us feel. Like nothing can be done about it. It's just gonna continue. And hey, man, I'm just a cog in the wheel. I can't change nothing. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, one thought can make a change. One idea can make a change. As a matter of fact, that's why we're in the present state of the so-called United States right now. Somebody had an idea. They wanted to break away from Britain, and even with Britain coming over here, it's trying to establish the British crown over here and establishing the colonies, you know what I'm saying it was under British control. They want to expand their empire. Even that's a thought. And breaking away from that, it's a thought. You know what I'm saying? Almost Patrick Henry, John Henry, or one of the so-called, patriots or whatever, start no taxation without representation. They start hollering about, hey, man, we don't want no other British governors over here or nothing like that. We being mistreated. We feel like we shouldn't be continue to pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? Unfair, how we being taxed over here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we ready to go to war. That's a thought. Like, hey, and manifest destiny. I'm saying it's manifest divinity for our people. We always have been, we are divine people. We've always been divine. We've always been close to God. You know what I mean? In Christianity, in whatever form. You know what I'm saying? We've always been a devout spiritual people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it's manifest divinity. You know what I'm saying? For us to continue our, I would say divine rulership here on the earth. And because we have always been stewardesses of the earth. We did not destroy anything. Even when we were ruling the world, yes, we had nuclear, we knew about nuclear energy in Africa, you know what I'm saying? Before this even occurred. Matter of fact, they found, I believe, nuclear engines is something like to do with nuclear energy, I believe, in the Sudan. You know what I'm saying? And this is like, and everything is occurring, like my cousin Tony Browder said, everything is a current event. What you have in the past, the people done find out, somebody studied it or did something in that sense in the past. It just, somebody have gotten a hold to it and maybe advanced it to this present day and age. But it has always been something of that nature, because our existence is not just these few thousands of years of the United States, which people think. You know what I'm saying? We've been here. Even ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, that span of, what we want to say 6,000 maybe years ago, or over 6,000 years ago, that was just a minute time in history, you know what I'm saying, of our existence here. You see what I'm saying? So we've been here, you know, but things in that sense somebody just developed it even further, but it's been here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to understand. As our manifest divinity to become stewards of the earth again and rule it in the right way. But we have been actually scared out of our divinity. That's what I would say. We've been put in fear, and also educated out of our divinity. You know what I'm saying? But so that's what I'm standing on, manifest divinity. You know what I'm saying? That we take the divine rulership of the world back and set it on its proper axis. And I said that in the video, and I'm gonna say it again, that we take the divine rulership of the world, put it back under our control, and right everything, all the wrongs that have been done. I ain't saying go knock nobody up the side of the head, but I'm saying right those wrongs, put the world back on its proper axis. It just got to be done. Because if not, these things we talking about, it's gonna continue. The behaviors I'm talking about, it's gonna continue. Us never getting reparations is gonna continue. Police brutality is gonna continue. You know what I'm saying? Western imperialism is gonna continue. You know, and even I know, and people feel like, well, you tripping, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not tripping. I'm speaking reality. Because it continues because nobody has done anything about it. And then the people that did try, and that's another thing. People are in fear because the people that did try and really, 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 really tried, either they were, incarcerated, killed, made to seem crazy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's a playbook. And Willie D even talked about that. The playbook. You know what I'm saying? They have a playbook. Like they was gonna try to start a war with Cuba. And they had certain plans to bomb bases in Cuba, kidnap people, set stuff on fire, just make it to where, it seemed like Cuban people were doing it. That way we can, try to start a war with them. That was back in the 60s. Matter of fact, it was classified documents. Willie D had it on his page. But it was a playbook. So it's a playbook even in that sense. When in that sense of them starting certain things, wars where it's a playbook to keep, us in fear. You know what I'm saying? Us not doing anything about it, or so the system continue. So this present day system continue. You know what I'm saying? But like I know the revolution continues. Instead of laying it down and saying, oh man, ain't nothing gonna change. I know, and like I said, even my cousin, you know what I'm saying, said nothing can be changed without an effort to change it. So you got to try. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter how many times you get hindered, stopped, or whatever, you got to keep on coming. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing will be changed if no one makes the effort to change it. It may be one idea, like even me. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, one idea, my could spark a change. You know what I'm saying? So I would always say, and I'm gonna always advocate for that. You know what I'm saying? Get out for the Diddy thing. That ain't nothing. It's really nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? Like we really are focused on nothing. Diddy's a peon. Really not even, like I said before, it's not really mean he's not even the level of a peon in the world of, like I said, power, resources, and influence. Very small on the world spectrum of things. You know what I'm saying? To be able to make some real moves. Because if he was able to, he would not be in jail at this time. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I think we need to understand, that aspect of it, and not be so caught up on, the smoke and mirrors. 'Cause that's what it is, right? They're smoke and mirrors. They weigh this in front of us. Hey, this is Diddy. He did this. But while this is going on, the system is still going on. You know what I'm saying? They got kids being raped and trafficked every day. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying nothing about, you know what I'm saying? Because the people in power, the real people in power, they are allowing it to go on and partaking in those things. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, we need to be real about it, man. It's like, man, come on now. It's a whole system set up. I wouldn't even say the same thing about we still got modern day slavery going on with the prison system. And I said that in prior videos as well. We still got it going on. And I know for a fact, Florida, Texas, Louisiana don't pay their prisoners. You know, so it's still going on. Nothing is being paid, and people are working in fields, in factories, uh, uh, kitchen, cleaning, like everything. So yeah, man, we need to be real about it. This system, the way it's going on, is based on a perverted win-lose system. Somebody has to lose for somebody to win, instead of being based on a win-win system, a system that's not perverted or unjust. You know what I'm saying? That mashes somebody, steps on somebody, oppresses somebody, so the other people can have. That's an unjust society, and it cannot continue. It cannot continue. So somebody had to rise up and say something about it, and somebody got to rise up and do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm down for both. I'm with both. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to let nobody deter me and say, oh, man, you tripping. Man, that ain't going to never happen. And like, okay, then if it can't never happen, then right now the United States, the so-called United States, would not be in existence right now, because there's one idea that sparked it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I'm not going to give up on that. The change. It don't matter if I, leave up out of here or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? But I know one idea can spark change. It can catch flame. You know what I'm saying? Domino effect. That flame can be a fire. Then an inferno, volcano coming down. You know what I'm saying? Like making things happen, pushing things up out the way. So yeah, if it catches fire, things can be changed. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to continue to do that, because things have to be changed. You know what I'm saying? We can't sit here and be defeated in our minds and say that, oh, well, this is just the way it is. I ain't told somebody, man, somebody used to, I talked to, and I told them, hey, we used to rule the world, right? She was like, rule the world? She was confused, like, I ain't never heard that before. I like, yeah, we should rule the world, in ancient Kemet, when we reached the height of our civilization. Matter of fact, Pharaoh Taharka, which he's in the Bible, he brought back, he was one of the, when they had a renaissance, consider renaissance, you heard the word renaissance, he was one of the ones that sparked one of the first renaissances in the 25th dynasty, ancient Kemet, around 2500, maybe 1500 BCE, before the common era. He reached back and he remembered the greatness of his ancestors, and he wanted to bring that back to the fold. Erected certain monuments, the Memphite theology, brought that back to the fold, and erected monuments according to that, to remember that, from his ancestors, the ancient theology of his ancestors, so yeah, went to war with the Syrians, and they mentioned that he's the king of war. In the Bible, went to war with the Syrians to keep the Assyrians out of Jerusalem, which I understand is one of the reasons he's mentioned in the Bible. He kept them out of Jerusalem, which is supposed to be the Holy, but it was black people there, during that time, kept them out of the Syrians from invading, and taking over Jerusalem, So, and he went to war. Right in his mama, had a good relationship with his mama, which, I feel like every king should, I think I'm blessed to have a good relationship with my mother, love my mother, and same thing. I always want her to know, like, hey man, I know sometimes your mama don't want nothing to happen to you, but, us as kings, like we in the war, and I learned this from a sister, from a woman. She said, boys are special because, they are the ones that change things. They are the ones that come along and actually make a difference. Like if something needs to be changed, they most time are the ones that rise up and change it. And also our women as well. So there's not me saying that women don't, but for the most part, the men are the ones that had to come. We have to take up. And I took, like, explain this to a friend too. We're the ones that had to take up that burden and face them bullets, face them challenges, face them whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? The accusations, the allegations, the assassination of character. Also the assassination of the mind, body, and spirit. So Yeah, I would say, man, I would always, try to do my best, to be here. But if not, if something happened to me, hey man, I'm going down fighting a good fight. That's just what it is. I think I don't know. I know there's just something in me, man. Like God put that spirit in me to where it's like I'm always about it. Like, man, even when I was in the streets, what's so crazy about even when I was in the streets, I was about them streets. When I was in the street, I was about them streets, like about it. But now it's like, I overcame that, got past that, lived through that, and now I'm wanting change, like a change for the better for us, and not just to be talking about it. Like I'm really, really wanting to change. My change, my purpose is through the music. I want to bring a change through the music. That's my purpose. What I know I'm here for. And that's what I'm working towards. Eventually, like I said, connecting. He my cousin Tony Browder. Connecting more with him, other brothers. Because he's very well connected with with people trying to help institute change. If our people that are actually trying to raise the consciousness of our people. You want to say freedom fighters, people connected, in that sense, connected with freedom fighters around the globe. So that's also what I, would like to connect with more of our people, in the diaspora, like I said about my trip, to Ethiopia, connecting more with our brothers and sisters around the world, you know what I mean? Here and around the world, so, I know a change has to be sparked, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to what I can do, how I can do it. I'm gonna start right here. Why I stand. We can get the revolution on going right where I stand. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. Get it going on right here where I stand. Or right where I'm sitting right doing this video right now. But yeah, I do. That's what I'm about. And and I would say like like my old school coaches, it ain't no excuse. I'm not making no excuse. I'm gonna get it going right here where I stand, and that's just that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making excuses. Oh well, I had to do this, or I couldn't. My job, I ain't had no job, I ain't no money coming in at the time, or I didn't have this, I didn't have that. Now, even with me talking to people, like I said about the young lady I spoke with, of like, hey, our people used to rule the world, dropping little jewels of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Even within that sense, saying I do that, to help spark a change. I'm always gonna say something of significance. Try to say something of significance. Where somebody can hear and like, oh, okay, well, let me go check that out. And I believe that the birth of a nation and the consciousness to birth a new or to make it to really spark a change is gonna come through our women anyway. It's gonna come through our women anyway, because they're gonna impart knowledge to the children. You know what I mean? That young boy it's gonna be in a cycle. He gonna impart knowledge to his daughter. The daughter gonna impart knowledge to the son, and her daughter, and it's gonna be a cycle. You know what I mean? Upliftment. It's gonna be a cycle of lifting, our people and our communities. So yeah, I think that we can, and we can make a change right here where we stand. Diddy not the boogeyman. They gonna continue to pound him. But let's focus on where the real problem is. These behaviors, this unjust, the way the society was set up on an unjust foundation. Let's get to that. Let's stick with that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to those things, you know what I'm saying, to make changes in those behaviors and the way the system is set up, to make a change in the system itself. See what I'm saying? Because there's too many black men incarcerated. Too many of our people, suffering. And I said this in the prior video too. The medical, prison, educational. Our young black boys, young black children being misdiagnosed with ADHD, putting on Ritalin and different medications. Come on, man. I'm saying? Even my mom and them, trying to put me on medication as a child, talking about I'm too hyperactive. I'm a kid, supposed to be hyperactive. See what I'm saying? But my parents wise enough, they ain't let him do it. Like, nah, he's not getting on no medication. He just a young boy. He supposed to be hyperactive. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me get up out here. I just want to say that Diddy is not the boogeyman. The real boogeyman is this unjust system that has been established over here. You know, the unjust system. You know, like I said, educational, you know, medical, prison. I would say even the military industrial complex, saying the prison industrial complex. You know, these systems, governmental system over here, the unjust system that has been set up. You know, so yeah, you know, and I would go on to say our people would have never came over here and took nothing from nobody. But our people have came over, we were already here. We came over here. Like I said, the old McHeads in Mexico, evidence of our people coming over here. And we dealt with people over here justly. Brought science over here, a pyramid building. You know what I'm saying? Our people were already over here. Cherokee, Seminole, man, it's so many. Choctaw. So many I can't even name. It's too many. I can't now. I got them on my mind. I can't think of them. But anyway, so many of our people, you know what I'm saying, already over here. And we dealt with each other justly. Didn't take nothing from nobody. Didn't try to oppress nobody so we could gain certain things in the society. We dealt with each other justly across the spectrum. And that's why I would go on to say that we would have never set the society up like this to where somebody has to suffer for our benefit. Because everybody can win. Everybody can have. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Come on, let's focus on the real problem. Diddy ain't the boogeyman. Like, seriously. This system, this unjust system way it's set up, that's the real boogeyman. You know what I mean? It got our people in the situation we in right now. You know, so, you know, that's why native people, us coming over here, you know what I mean? Us natives to this land, our people coming over here from Africa, being brought over on slave ships from Africa, our brothers and sisters in Mexico, you know, which I said California and Texas, which I'm in sitting right here right now, was part of Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Our people being over here, you know, being treated unjustly. Yeah, those are the people that you know, need to be, you know, need to be for real. The whole thing need to be changed, man. And for us to be able to get a just due, you know, of things in the society, a just due amount or resources or whatever you want to say. You know, and I know people say reservation. No, reservation ain't no just due, man. Come on, man. I don't care what they say. They have money in casino. It's rampant with alcoholism. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? They done foisted alcoholism on our people in a reservation and to keep them their minds gone. See what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, society is you know, and possibly them trying to stand and make some type of stand, final stand or whatever it may be, to get in their right mind to stand up and make a change, want to make a change. So even in that sense, man, you know, I would say that, you know, society has a this is like nah, man. I'm just glad that I feel like I'm wise enough to understand it and to see it for what it is. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get up out here. You know, I hope everybody out there doing good, you know, living life, you know, for the love, happiness, you know, doing well, you know, and doing great, you know, striving for greatness like every day. So, until next one, y'all, love y'all. All right, y'all.
Fuck it, go ahead and blow off the dough. Step through the maze, man, and became amazing. About to rewrite history and change a page in a crooked book that never told us the true story. Like how we were kings and queens before the slave story, before the killing, stealing, and drug dealing on some real shit. We ran the world.